Good morning, lovely people. So happy new moon. So I didn't get to come on yesterday and do the reading for the week, but then I thought, it'd be lovely because we can do it on the new moon. So anyway, it's Sue's Crystal Wolf from Crow Fire Talk. So let's light our incense to get us in the... Oh, I just need to move my legs. I'm getting a bit... That's better. I do apologise for my chair. My chair is so squeaky. It's really strange. I don't know why it's so squeaky. So there we go. We got the incense going. Normal. I'm using my Nag Champa. I don't really tend to go... I do like other incense, but I tend to stick with me Nag Champa. So let's get going. I'm going to use Sacred Path medicine cards. I think you're pretty familiar with that now. I'm going to use my Astral Realms Crystal Oracle this time. Don't know why, but they called to me, so we're going with them. And me Transference Healing Animal Magic. These are stunning. I love these. I go through phases with them where I use them all the time and then I don't use them again. So let's do some shuffling to get us in the mood of what we want to ask for the week. We just want to know the energies with this new moon, how the week is going to pan out, how we can work with the week. So I may do a reading from Monday, or I may go to Tuesday next week. We'll have to see. So, or I won't get one up at all. That could be the case. It's quite busy again now with everything starting with maroon work again and some other things. I'm working with one of my rune sisters again, who was on the Awakening 2020 course with me. We did a lot of work together for a couple of years and then we had a little break. So I'm going to start working with her again, and another couple of lovely ladies. So that's quite exciting. That's going to be Sundays. They're all in America, so I'm the odd one out. So yeah. So I'm going to keep them out. I'm gonna do all the shuffling actually. I don't know about you, but I found Odin's Retreat, Mercury retrograde, a bit more difficult. Well, I say a bit more, quite a lot more difficult, as I'm not normally affected. I do get the blips with the phone and the computer and stuff like that, but I normally quite like the retrograde energy. I struggle with more when it happens, or like when it starts to go into retrograde and when it starts to come out. But I did have a very, very hilarious incident that went through the whole of the time. And that was, I ordered a beautiful Odin drawing by an artist I love. And I ordered it for my birthday. It was like I ordered it on my birthday. He literally posted on Facebook that he'd done it on the 28th of July. So I was like, oh my God, I've got to have that. I'm going to buy it for myself for my birthday. So that was great. And it didn't turn up. I thought it was a bit strange. So I got in touch with him and said, oh, when will it be posted? And he said, well, it was posted. It's come back to us. Check your address. So I knew my address was correct because I paid through PayPal, and you know, I always use that. So so I knew it was correct, but I sent him it again, and he said yes, that's exactly the the address we've got. And I was like, oh God, okay, strange. And I didn't put two and two together at the time. And then I sent him another message, which was about a week and a bit odd later, because he said he was going to post again, and nothing. I was like, strange, still haven't received it. So I messaged him and said, oh, you know, have you posted? And he said, no, I am so sorry, I've been unwell. So I was like, that's okay. And then then it clicked. I was like, oh my God, Odin's on retreat, so he refuses to turn up until he's good and bloody ready to. So yeah, and then about a week later I got it, and it was not long before he was back off retreat. So he did turn up a little bit earlier, but yeah, it was quite amusing, really. Oh, let me blow on the runes so that they're ready as well. Okay, now I got my bogie stones. They wanted to be with this, so I don't know if you know about bogie stones, but they help to balance the male and the feminine together. They're amazing, actually. I love working with bogie stones. So they wanted to be here. Let's see what we get. Okie dokie. I think we'll do, I think we'll just do one card. Oh, goodness. We've had this before, haven't we? So we've got Shaman's Death, Death and Rebirth. I love this card, totally. For me, it's perfect for this time of year. You know, we're now in September, and I think it's a time for deep reflection and going within, and I don't know, September feels like a time where you need to do a lot of self-love before. It's almost like the bit before the sort of going deep and maybe doing the shadow work, and I would say this for me would have come a bit after, but I can go with it coming now. So it's almost like, well, look at maybe your self-love practices, look at how you I want to use the word nourish, and that was because Maggie, my rune teacher, she used nourish last night in the reading that she did for the month. And yeah, I mean, she said that like August was like a nourishing month. I'm more into September is the time for nourishing, self-love, looking after yourself. And when we look at this card, it means that we can look at all of those practices around how do we nourish, how do we give love to ourselves, how do we look after ourselves, how do we care and you know, really connect deeply into those practices. And we can do like little lists, and we can say, okay, so I'm nourishing my brain, I'm reading, I'm learning, I'm doing all that, but I'm not nourishing my physical self. I'm not getting out, I'm not walking enough, I'm not drinking enough water. You know, that might be the case. Or it might be emotionally, I'm not looking after myself. I'm letting people get to me. I'm doing stuff that I know is against my emotional well-being just because it's going to please someone else, and I don't really want the trouble. And you know, I almost like hiding myself away from any conflict and that would cause self-harm in a way. So it's not a good thing to do. Sometimes we have to, sometimes, you know, that is a place we need to go to. We need to keep the peace, and in fact that might be nourishing, just keeping the peace where we know it deeply in our mind that we don't feel like the other person is feeling and what they're saying. Maybe we don't agree with them, and that's absolutely fine. But we don't need to step forward. We don't need to say, oh, make our point clear. We don't need to say, oh, well, actually, no, that's not how I feel. Maybe it's not the right time, maybe it's not the right circumstances, whatever it is. So you can like prepare for a shaman's death. You can prepare and go, okay, yes, my physical health, I'm not looking after it. So now I need to clear that. I need to go through a death and rebirth. I need to change that. I need to start putting stuff into place, into practice, and slowly do that. So I'm gonna get up. I am using 2 lots of animal cards because I wanted to use these ones as well. So we're using the medicine cards here, and we've got the raven. Oh my god, my favorite. So the raven, all about healing. And you can use raven energy to send healing out. For me, and I've done this, you can send raven energy to past. So you can think of an incident or something that has happened, and you want to clear it, and you want to clear the ties and all the stuff, and you can send healing to that. You can, to your past self. You can send healing to your future self. If you know that you're going to go through a tricky time, or if you're going through something big and major like a divorce or something like that, you can send healing into the future so that the process of the divorce is going to be easier for you. You can always ask Raven. Raven will go out as Odin does. He sends out his ravens, they go out for him, and they bring back information, telling what's going on in the world. Raven will go out. He is a messenger, not quite the same as a hawk. It's not quite the same sort of messenger, but and the raven will help with any type of magical practice, because the raven will connect you in with magic and that sort of energy. So if you were feeling off kilter with your magical practice, you could ask Raven anything that you wanted to ask. You could communicate with Raven and say, right, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And maybe it's because you need to get rid of stuff. Maybe, our paths change, and we have to remember that. If we stay stuck on a path that we feel is appropriate, so it's like we're on this path and we just carry on down the path instead of going off for a little diversion or taking a different turn, or wandering in another direction, because we can get completely stuck. So the shaman's death is really good for that, because we can clear any of the dead wood, and then we can proceed with fresher, newer energies. Obviously, we've got fresher, newer energies because we've got the new moon, and we've also got the new month of September. We're only a couple of days in, so there's lots of clearing, new energy for us to connect in with, to embrace and run with. So it's good for that. September and October for me are the months of that slowing down. Funnily enough, they can be busy times of year because children go back to school and all of that sort of happens for people with children. You've also got different times coming up, so a lot of people start thinking about Christmas. And a lot of people that work spiritually and magically deeply connect with Samhain, in October. It is a very powerful time of year. I mean, we do say it's one of the times of the year that the veil gets thinner. We've also got the autumn equinox coming up. So we've got energies, we've got a lot of energies happening that can mess with our own energies, because we feel like we want to slow down. We feel like we need to maybe catch a breath, and after the heat of the summer, after the pace of the summer and things. But often it's still like a busy part of the year. I've always laughed, and I mean, Christmas is hilarious because Christmas is at the wrong time of the year. It's absolutely completely stupid for us to have Christmas in winter. It's madness. Obviously it's not something we're going to change, whoever celebrates it, and not everyone does. But taking a sip of me lovely jasmine tea. But Christmas is wrong because winter is that time of quiet and solitude and peace. And what do we have? This mad time of Christmas. I'm not even going to go into it. So yeah, call on the raven. Use the raven to do any healing work that you want to do, paving the way to anything that you want to go deeper with over those winter months. A lot of people, this is the time of year to think about and start your shadow work, if that's something that interests you. Obviously, if it's not, that's fine. But even people that don't knowingly connect in and decide that they're doing shadow work, most of us do shadow work unconsciously anyway, because we look into things. And anyone on a spiritual path, if they're not looking into themselves and they're not going deeper with their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, they're not changing, they're not transforming, then they're not really truly on a spiritual path. They're maybe that is where they're meant to be, and that is correct for them, but it's, you can't do the work if you're not doing the work on yourself. It's and not everyone needs to go deep. Some people's path is less intense. I wanted to do shadow work when I was a child and didn't even know what it was. I would have a row with my brother, and I would sit there, and I would. Mum said I sulked, which is quite funny, because I think my sulking, if that was what I was doing, was actually more like deep reflection. Because I used to sit there, even as quite a young child, and think, well, he upset me, but then I would always look, well, did I do it? Did I cause it? Did I trigger him? I mean, I didn't obviously use words like trigger, but I would look at the whole situation. I'd take my brother, I would go round the whole of his personality and things and look at it. I would dissect that. I would then dissect myself. Then I would dissect the situation. It's always something I've loved. But not all of us are on that path. Not all of us. I feel that my path, my purpose, one of my main purposes on my path is to go deep, is to really go into that psyche of everything, and that psychology, and it's a passion, and it's a love, and it is massively it can be my saving grace, because it means I can analyze in a very different context of ways of looking at things. I always see everyone's side in something, which can be really handy, because it can really help being able to see that. So for me, it's been wonderful. Okay, so I'm going to take the other animal card now just to see. Oh, we got dragonfly. Dragonfly is interesting because dragonflies, they stay in that nymph stage for a long time, and it's not quite. I could be wrong on this, but I think I'm correct. It's not quite like a time period. So dragonfly nymphs crawl out of the reeds and out of the water and up a reed and a flower and turn into a dragonfly. But I don't think it's like totally precise. So it's not like, oh, well, they live as a nymph for 9 months and then they emerge. I think it depends on the dragonfly. So I find that really interesting. If I've got that correct, may have made that up in my head, but I'm sure I'm right somewhere in the back of my mind. And so it's like a divine timing thing. So you don't want to emerge out of your your shaman's death. If you might want to stay in your shaman's death. I mean, we might stay in the shaman's death through the whole of September. That's absolutely fine. Through the whole winter months, even go through the autumn and the winter months and stay in it and like really go deep and really look and see what we need to change to birth and in the spring. So it could, it can be that. So it's divine timing. You'll know when you are ready to launch back into the rebirth of something. Dragonfly also is quite often about illusions. Especially in the medicine cards, in these cards, it's seen as a card of illusion. Are you eluding yourself? Are you eluding others? Are you living in illusion, where you might think, oh no, I don't need to change, everything's fine, and you just bumble along when actually you need to seriously look at something and see it correctly. So it's a bit, for me, like the wings of the dragonfly, all that iridescent loveliness. So it looks sparkly and lovely, and you just see that, and you don't look any deeper. It's just a surface glistening sort of level. And whereas the dragonfly's been to the depths, it's, the dragonfly rebirths very, very strongly like a butterfly. It's a very transformative, it's a very deep energy of deep transformation. September, October is a very prolific month for dragonflies as well. It's a time of year when dragonflies quite often do emerge. There are other times of the year you will see them earlier in the year, but you can see a lot of dragonflies in September. There was a lovely country park where I used to live, and they used to do the dragonfly walk, which was always between September, or the dragonfly trail, September and October. So these are all really connected together. They're all deeper cards. They're not very airy-fairy. They're not soft. They're not that gentle. They're quite potent cards, but they're not asking us to just really go deep and stay there, or not stay there. They're not asking us to be in the chaotic energy of the rebirthing and the changing. So there's a lot of chaos that comes around shaman's death, dragonfly energy. Not so much with the raven, but it's a time to go deep, but almost like cocoon in that energy, and let that energy tell you what it needs to tell you. So you haven't got to dive in and do all the work. You've almost got to slide into it and let it evolve, let it transform before your eyes. But you can call on the raven to help you with it. Hopefully the crystal realm will be a bit more gentle card. It's not, because we've got Super 7. So Super 7 is a powerful, powerful healing crystal that was sort of named by Melody, who was an amazing crystal lady. Well, the best, really. I mean, her book is my absolute Bible, and sadly she's passed now. But she was fantastic, because she brought the truly scientific part into the metaphysical and the spiritual realm, and she bridged those two worlds so beautifully. Just really amazing. Now, Super 7 is a crystal that holds 7 energies. So again, that is like a bit in your face. It's not, one little energy, lovely. Oh no, we've got 7 energies in one crystal. So, but the thing with Super 7 is it's powerful, but gentle in the way that it does it, because those 7 energies are not chaotic. They're not in your face. If you think of like 7 energies coming together, there could be chaos, there could be, but they don't. They meld, they just line together. And then those 7 energies then have the energy of the Super 7. So the Super 7 is the outward energy. Yes, you can connect in, and often happens with Super 7 where you're connecting with one of the 7 minerals in there. So one might be speaking to you more, but it's not normally jabbing you with the 7 different energies at different times. It's normally quite combined. Do you know, I can't quite get my words out. I know what I mean, and I'm feeling it deeply, but I can't quite put it into words, which is strange, because Odin is now back from retreat. So with this card, it says direction, and shall we actually read? Maybe we could read that. Shall we read that? Let's have a look. Number 20. I don't normally like to sort of do that, but I think there's a bit of a deeper message that we need. Oh, yeah, okay. So it sort of connects in with what we're saying. So where is your true north? So, and the card is transformation, lessons, and divine right. We are all in search of what sets our souls on fire, and a way to find your spiritual direction is to go through the shamanic medicine wheel. Shamanic medicine wheel. I use the shamanic medicine wheel quite a lot, actually. To the east is where you feel success and experience victories. To the north is where you will learn survival and where you will experience hardship and sadness. To the west will experience transformation and the end of a cycle. To the south you will receive abundance and learn lessons about your courage and strength. You will experience birth, life, death and rebirth, as it is your divine right and a sacred path. What will you learn along the way? Harnessing the energy of a Super 7 crystal will aid you in each direction you head on your spiritual journey. Super 7 is a combination of 7 crystals: amethyst, clear quartz, smoky quartz, rutilated quartz, goethite, caxonite, and lapidolite. That contains the metaphysical properties of each crystal, making it a healing and energetic powerhouse. Super 7 crystal will raise the vibration frequency for your humanity and heal Mother Earth. Super 7 helps you tap into your intuitive and psychic abilities, so you're able to connect with other light beings in order to raise the collective vibration. Super 7 purifies and balances your chakras and your auric field, so you're able to energetically align with your higher self. Placing Super 7 near any other crystals will also increase their vibrations. Well, really, I mean, any quartz crystal near any crystal will help, because quartz amplifies. So grab your journal and notate and identify which directions of the medicine wheel you have faced. Write down what you have learned from that situation and how it allowed you to grow, adapt, and adjust the way you approach and react to the same situation or similar one in the future. So a little bit in there extra. I don't quite, because I learned the medicine wheel from the Sacred Path cards, and the East is the door of the rising sun, and the color yellow, and the element of air, and it's intuition, inspiration. And then the South is like the inner child, and red, and the South direction. And then the West is introspection and goals. It's that deep water element, emotions. And then the North is really the connection to the ancestors and the earth, and wisdom from, you know, the generations before us, and even some people say like spirit, all the spirits, you know, is the North direction. So slightly different. So for me, I mean, we go through the medicine wheel daily, because we actually go through that because, you know, we have the rising sun, we have the setting sun, which is in the west, we have midday, which is the south, and then we have midnight, which is north. So we actually go through the medicine wheel daily. We can look and we can use those energies in that time. So we can think, right, you know, let's get out my journal as the sun rises, and let's journal about getting inspiration and connecting in with those energies. Or we can think midday, let's connect in, let's go a bit deeper, let's look at stuff that we really want to work on, and then when the sun sets, we can do some releasing of energies and things, and then at midnight we can connect in with the ancestors and what's past, and see what we've learned, see what wisdom we've gained. So naturally we go through this, because naturally that's part of the day cycle. And times a day are really great to connect in with things and work with things. But I think this is sort of saying, like, to really connect in with what direction you are looking at to move into. So like I said, the journaling thing, I think get out a journal, do a bit of journaling, connect in with what you feel that maybe you want to leave behind from the summer, what you want to move forward with for the autumn and the winter, and what you might want to go deep with. And remember, you don't have to go too deep. I mean, if you want to dive in, oh my god, I'm going to be diving in, but you don't have to, you know. I mean, sometimes we haven't even got the time or energy to dive that deep. Right, we're going to pick our rune. Oh no, Odin says 2, so we're going to go with 2. Oh, actually, okay, we're going to pick one for each of the bogie stones. That's interesting. But there again, these are my my runes made by my right, okay. Oh, okay, we got Othala and we got Largus. So let's pop that there. So we got Largus there. Okay, now boji stones, sort of made. There again, they're made from a few different things, mostly pyrite and iron ore type energies. The smooth is the meant to be the female, the feminine energy one, and the more spiky. I can't think of words today. The protrusions and stuff is the male, and the masculine energies. Now, I funnily enough, the runes are interesting because I find the Athala rune a more masculine rune. Obviously, our ancestors are male and female, but it has like a more masculine energy because it's where we connect in with our ancestors is an action thing, so it's a very yang energy, and also our ancestors have imprinted on us, so again it's a more action energy. It's got a more masculine energy. Laguz, totally opposite. I would have said that that's a more feminine rune because it's flowy, it's more yin, but you know, they're interchangeable because and at times when you connect with the rune, you might get total opposite of what you've had before, because that's how the runes are. They're multifaceted. They have every energy, you know, within them. So we're going to look at that. So we've got the Athala. So I would say this is a really good time to connect in with maybe your Disseer circle, your divine feminine energies around you, your ancestors, maybe even specific. Maybe you want to connect in with grandma figures, motherly figures, that sort of thing, or even very deep connection with maybe the feminine deities, that sort of energy. So I think Athala is here because I think Athala wants us to look at what we are going to take forward. How are we going to walk that road, and what is our legacy? What are we going to be showing the future generations? What are we leaving behind? What, you know, kind words did we say? What loving action did we do? And also the way we connect with our own selves, because we had that before about that self-care and nourishing time. And then when we go to Laguz, I think we're looking at that that more, you know, I often connect with Laguz with it being a still lake and that still yin energy. It's very yin, but this isn't. This is saying to maybe to stir it up a bit. So it's saying get in there, but when you go deep into a dark pool of water, that's more yin, and this is not. This is about like a torrent. This is about the sea, and it's stormy and wavy, so it's that type of energy. So look at those energies that are around you that are causing that stormy, uncomfortable, you know, rocking of the boat, rocking the stormy sea energy. So it's not a nice placid lake. It's that get in there and, you know, and yeah, maybe calm the waters once you've rode the rapids. But so I said don't go, you don't have to go deep, but this is saying go deep, ride the rapids, and look at those emotions that come up with that. So I think it's about going deep so that we can move forward with that rebirth. So yeah, it's funny how we look at runes, because often, you know, a rune will come up again and again and again and again, and you read it very similar, and you have your keywords that you know what that means. But then they're sneaky. And to be honest, I know water is placid, and it is really powerful, and I know it's like a lovely calm lake, and I know it's a raging river, I know it's a raging stormy sea, I know it's a trickling lovely little beautiful little stream. So I know it has all those energies, but this time in this reading, it's showing that face of the torrent. You know, it is that raging river. It is get in that raging river and almost wash that energy, wash those raging emotions out, you know, clear them. Don't pussyfoot around them. Let's get a hold of them. Let's look at them. Let's release what we don't need. So you know, when you have a lovely shower and you release nice, I use Largoos in the shower like a lot of people do because it's a cleansing rune, and I never truly think of it as raging, because I just think of it as lovely water cascading over me, lovely. But this is like stand in the middle of a raging waterfall and really let it go deep, let that energy go deep and clear. So it's taking action, because of, you know, that bogie stone and that male masculine energy. It's getting in there. Don't just let it wash over you. Let it go through you. Let it cleanse and clear at the deepest level. So yeah, really interesting energies there. So yeah, I don't feel like it's a roller coaster. I don't feel like it's ups and downs. I think it's a very precise choosing. So I think it's like, yeah, go on. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get in the raging waterfall. I'm going to do some work. I'm going to clear those energies. I'm going to look back to my past. I'm going to see what I need to clear so that I can take that forward. You know, it's very in our own hands. It doesn't feel like it's out of our hands, you know, when stuff happens and we can't do a lot about it. I mean, we've got a lot of planets in retrograde, so all of that is out of our hands. We've had tons of volcanic energies, again, out of our hands, other than how we respond to these energies, how we look, what it brings up for us. Do we just leave it, you know, to sort of fester in our auric field? Do we go, oh my God, I'm going to take action. I want to look at this. Why has that come up for me? Why do I feel so uncomfortable around that person? Why do I suddenly dislike being around someone? Or, you know, what is this sign trying to tell me? What do I need to look at? And, you know, if you've got all those questions, you can connect in with, like I said, the Raven. The Raven does help with all that magical exploration. You can send out your own ravens like Odin does. Send out your ravens. You know, we all have them. We all have those energies that we can use. We all have things in our toolbox. We all work differently. We all have different opinions. We all have different experiences. Just connect in with you and just look at what you want to clear, what you want to get rid of, what doesn't really feel like you anymore, what is going to propel you forward in the way that you want to go, and you're at the reins. You're in charge, you take control, you do it how you want to do it. And that's what I'm getting for the reading for this week. So I hope you get something from it. Obviously, if you see this video at any time in the future, you can connect with what I'm saying. It's for a specific time for this week ahead. But you know, as everyone knows, these energies and that are flowing in and out of our lives, constant throughout our lives, so we can connect with a reading like this on the internet. Even in 10 years time, it's going to have something to say for someone is going to get something from it. So yeah, thank you for listening. If you've stayed the course, it's quite a long one, we're 45 minutes. But we had a lot to say, unlike the last one, which I really struggled doing, to be honest with you. I did say in the video my energies were all over the place, but I didn't take into account that Odin was retrograde as well, and it was affecting me for once. So yeah, interesting. Anyway, I shall go. Love and blessings. I hope you have a lovely week. And I shall be back for the next one and any other video that I'm going to post. I'm still really working on preparing what I want to prepare for my my death and rebirth through this autumn and winter time. So I'm struggling to put up videos because I don't have the extra time at the minute. Hopefully that's gonna change when I start working. That's, you know, it's going to be harder, isn't it? Maybe, but maybe I'll take you through some of the stuff. I did receive my other Drea Bloom book, the journal one. Well, it's not that before she was Drea Bloom, so it's still his book. But I received that one, and I've got them all prepared, all ready to start working with. Yeah, anyway, love and blessings. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.